He is the Managing Director and CEO of Chaudhary Group Corp Global and Chaudhary Group Hospitality Holdings.
Family is traditionally from Shekhawati in Rajasthan.
He helms over 100 companies under the CG Group with an investment outlay of over $1 billion.
India is a very important hub. We have various manufacturing facilities all across the country and in hospitality space as well.
NewsX proudly presents the VaKu Diaspora Dialogue with Rahul Chaudhary. Well, hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX VaKu. My name is Megha. Joining me on the broadcast is the Managing Director and CEO at CG Corp Global and CG Hospitality Holding. With me is Rahul Chaudhary. It's good to have you, Rahul. Thanks for coming on the show with me.
Thank you, Megha. I really appreciate it.
My first question for you, Rahul, is obviously the legacy that you, your family, your ancestors have built over the past several decades, and the journey that was taken from India to Nepal, and now setting up the standards when it comes to the hospitality business, hospitality industry in this part of the region.
No, it's been a very interesting journey, I must say. Just to give you a little bit of a history, our family is traditionally from Shekhawati in Rajasthan, and my great-grandfather came to Nepal together with my grandfather, almost 140 years back. And the history began then, and our first inroads into Nepal was in the construction and textile field, actually. And 150 years later, we are here in Nepal in various different verticals. We have almost 15 different verticals within the group, over 10,000 employees spread across 40 different countries. And hospitality, yes, happens to be one of our core businesses with almost 150 hotels in 12 countries and 8,000 keys and still growing. So we've been in this industry for 2 decades now, but it's been a good journey. Yeah. I think it only becomes more interesting with COVID. I look at that as an immense opportunity as well. And we continue to grow, Megha.
I know, having chatted with you in the past, you make several trips to India. There are businesses of yours that are located over here and doing fabulously well. Across the globe, you have set up verticals. You just mentioned about that. How is the future of CG hospitality looking like, keeping in mind the subcontinent, keeping in mind the various other continents that you're looking to expand at this time?
Yes, India has always been a very, very important market for us. Starting from the point that all three of us, my 2 brothers and myself, we all went to school in Dehradun. We went to Doon. And thereafter, we set up our first businesses through YY, which is our flagship brand of noodles. We manufacture almost 2.5 billion packets a year and spread across, again, we send it to almost 40 countries. But India is a very important hub. We have various manufacturing facilities all across the country and in hospitality space as well. We are partners with the largest brand, as they call it, the leading brand, the strongest brand now, IHCL. Through the Taj brand, we have several properties with them in the safari space in India, and also with the second largest management company, which is Concept Hospitality, through whom we have almost 80 plus hotels in India. And in terms of our growth, the growth is focused in 4 different sectors. One is FMCG. Second is our financial services. The group also owns the largest bank in the private sector in Nepal. Third is telecom. Fourth is hospitality. These would be our focuses and focus areas. And our focus territories would be the emerging and frontier markets. We are very clear right from the beginning of our journey that we want to be in emerging and frontier markets because that's the kind of landscape we understand most. After having been through that sort of journey in Nepal itself, I guess we have been attuned to face those challenges in all of these emerging and frontier countries. Notwithstanding the fact that we are in some major countries as well, developed countries, but those are more strategic investments. So I hope this gives you some sort of perspective on where we are headed.
Well, the perspective is definitely a really wide range and the horizons are high. So congratulations and all the best for that. I would like to talk to you about the kind of impact that Nepali culture, heritage, policy has had in you as an individual growing up over there, in terms of your business as well as personally, family wise. And the idea behind choosing Nepal as your country, where you would put up base and then expand to several other areas.
In terms of going back to why Nepal, obviously, this is something that my great grandfather thought would be the opportunity because India is neighboring Nepal itself, and Nepal is probably one of the only countries that was never colonized, by the way. And Nepal has maintained its sovereignty, it's maintained its integrity in terms of being a nation by itself, and realizing its potential in resources and its sheer location between the two world powers. So I think that may have been the sheer reason where my great grandfather thought the opportunities lie. And being a new market, and keep in mind that where we are Marwadis, and Marwadis are supposed to be one of the strongest business communities in the world. And all the business entrepreneurs who emerged from Rajasthan itself have gone all across the world. Now, you may ask each of them questions why they have gone to those parts of the world, but obviously all of them saw opportunities. All of them saw that there is something that is brewing in these neighboring countries or countries they are in at the moment, and they've proven themselves in in the various sectors and in those countries. Now, in terms of the policies and the governance and system and how it's affected us, it's no hidden truth, Megha, that any developing country has its own challenges. There are all frustrations when the systems are always ongoing and changing all the time. As I mentioned to you a little while back that, we just have a new government now. And we've changed almost 23 governments in 25 years. Mm-hmm. And that just shows you the kind of system and the governance that we are running. So it's not an easy place to be in. But, we that's what entrepreneurs are. You try to find, through the system that you have in place, you try to find ways to still grow, try to find opportunities. And that's what Nepal is. I think Nepal is a melting pot of opportunities, if you ask me, and where systems are very lax, processes are not completely coherent. I think that's where the potential is to be able to put through a system and a governance by learning from your neighbors and other countries that have done well to make it work in your home ground as well. Mm-hmm. There are countries that have constitutions which are there since years and years and centuries, which are still in place. But ours is still, you can say it's still evolving. So I see an opportunity there also to be a part of the constitution framing and constitution amalgamation.
Absolutely. On that note, I thank you, Rahul, for joining me on the broadcast and wish you all the very best for all these massive dreams and goals that you have yet to achieve. More power to you. And once again, wishing you all the best. And here's hoping to better, more cordial and more brotherly relations between India and Nepal in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Megha, for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and to discuss the current state of affairs and how CG can play a small role in the larger growth of the subcontinent as well as Nepal and India's relationship. So thank you.
Thank you.
Newsex's ITV network have proudly launched the VaKu Diaspora Broadcasting Network.
VaKu DBN will be India's first mainstream platform dedicated to the diaspora community. Help support us. Become VaKu patrons at memboro.com/VaKu. You will get the first access to our interviews, make recommendations, merchandise access, ask questions, and get a shout out of thanks on our TV shows.
You can also suggest to us who should get the VaKu Golden Chakra Awards and also tell us who should get into the VaKu Hall of Fame. Limited memberships are available at 100 rupees per month on Memboro VaKu.
Sign up now log on to memboro.com/vaku.